Servus and welcome to another episode of the Pro Hockey Pod, episode 42. For those listening, again, probably doesn't sound any different. For those watching, new week, new room. We're currently on the road in Straubing for a game we have tomorrow, and I thought, what better time than to bring on a young Adler player. This guy came a couple months ago to us, and someone that I think is good to talk to because he's had the experience of playing in North America, a young German talent coming up in the league here. Welcome to the podcast, Yannick Proske.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, man, I know you're a little nervous. For those listening, obviously Yannick is German, so his English is good, but he is still a little nervous about speaking it the whole time. So I'll try to pry some good sentences out of you for this one. But we always like to go back to kind of the start, man. So, I believe you were born in Weisswasser there. For those listening, where's Weisswasser, Germany? Not many Germans know either, but it's way up by the Polish border. So what's the earliest memory of your childhood from there?
Um, when I was 10 or 11, then we won the junior championship with Weißwasser against Berlin, and that's two times in a row. So it was pretty good memory for me. So it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what drew you to the sport of hockey, as a young kid? I know your brother played. Your brother was a goalie. I ended up playing against him. So did your brother kind of influence you also to get in the sport of hockey?
Yeah, of course. When I was younger, then I want also be a goalie first. But then my parents said, no, not a goalie again. So then I have to switch to a forward. And yeah, now I'm a forward.
That was gonna be one of my questions because obviously your brother, I believe he's seven years older than you, 6 years
Yeah,
older than you, and
7.
so he, at that time, when you started playing hockey, he would have been almost in junior, kind of coming up through the pro ranks, and I wondered why there wasn't two Proske goalies, but for those parents out there, they do know that it's an expensive position, so doing
Oh,
it
yeah.
two times, I'm sure that would be kind of a kick between the groin, but so how does the minor hockey structure work there in Weisswasser? Because for those listening, back home, we basically have every year you're with your age group, and like here there's kind of two age groups pushed in. So
Mhm.
if you're playing U15, for example, it's normally 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds because there's a U13 team and then there's a U17 team. So was the structure similar in Weisswasser?
Yeah, it's mostly similar stuff. I started with 3, with skating. And then the most kids there was also 3 or 5. And then they go into the next group that was under 8, so 7 and 6, and then the same rhythm from when you got older. So you step up to the next group, and then every time is 2 years. So what you say, if you're under 15, then it's 14 and 30.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's the same.
And how was because obviously, as I mentioned, Weisswasser's kind of way up there by the Polish border. So, like, how was it for you in minor hockey in terms of, traveling to play games? I'd assume there was a lot of hours spent in the car on the bus.
Yeah, it was. We got a couple long trips, but the most, or sometimes was also pretty close. So Berlin, it was only 2 hours, so that's close for us.
Mhm.
And then we got also Dresden and Grimmitschau. Dresden was 1.5. That was the closest one. Then we got Grimmitschau, it was 2, 2.5. So there was pretty close, but we got also long ones. So like Erfurt, it was 5 to 6 hours. Um, or we played also when I was younger, Hanover. It was also a long trip. So we got also a couple long ones, but also short ones. So it was good.
Hanover's like the other side of it's like two different opposite points of Germany. But
Yeah.
one thing I remember most about Weisswasser is the drive in. So like once you get off the highway, there's like 40 minutes of just straight one lane road and just woods all around you. And I always used to laugh being like, yep, okay, not in the city anymore.
No, no, Weißwasser is too far away for a city. So it's,
So
it's yeah.
What do people for like, so, when you're not playing hockey, what is there to do in Weißwasser, when you're growing up there as a kid?
Um, so the most time we have school there, and then after the school we go to the practice, and after the practice was done with the day. So then he was also tired because we have practice not like now at the morning. So, but we have it there in the evening, so like 6 or something. So then it was too late to do something after that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got only go home and go to bed, and that's it. And then the next day is the same one. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not really special. So
Same routine every day.
yeah.
Did you play any other sports growing up? Obviously, Germany's known for being in German a foosball country, or as we say in Canada, soccer slash football kind of country. Like, were you doing the same thing, playing other sports, or were you strictly just kind of focusing on hockey?
No, only hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to talk to people because some people they've tried every sport or they want to take a break, and someone like yourself, you love the game, so you
Yeah.
always.
No, I played only hockey, not
Yeah.
nothing more. No.
Okay. That's interesting. Good to know. Everyone's different, but I appreciate the honesty. And so, as we mentioned, your brother was 7 years older than you. So he was, coming up in kind of the junior ranks, pro ranks, kind of when you were, just getting your feet wet, I would say, in ice hockey. But were you, back then too, like just in terms of like phones and stuff, like it wasn't like cell phones weren't really like iPhones weren't really as popular as they are now. But in terms of like seeing him, contact, like were you trying to make your way kind of this way? Because he was in the Manheim system for a bit there. Like, were you trying to come and get an experience of the pro life at a young age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he give me a lot of experience. So everything what he do, I want to do the same. So when I was 7, he was 14, he goes to Manheim to the program. And I talked to my parents after that when he leaves. Mom and dad, I want to do the same. So yeah. Then I was also with 15 in Manheim in the program at the juniors. So I did the same as he do.
Following your brother's footsteps.
Yeah.
That's good. Um, Before we're gonna get there when you come to Mannheim and stuff like that, but I want to talk about another thing in Weisswasser. A fellow teammate of ours right now, Arno Tiefensee. You ended up playing, I believe it was U16 with him for 1 or 2 years, and just seeing you two now, there was a bromance started, and I was talking to Arno off camera, but kind of how did you two just kind of become the best of friends? Because that's always interesting to hear.
Yeah, we start at the same, so I think at the same time with the first steps on the ice. So, and then we do a lot also off the ice because we live only 5 minutes from far away, so it's pretty close. Then we did also a lot after the practice or before the practice a little bit, and then we have also a little bit good memories. I have no idea what he told you, but everything what he told you is wrong. So, no, he's a really good buddy for me, and I know him now over 11 or 14 years, so he's a really good buddy for me now.
To show how good buddies they are, Yannick was traded to our team this year a couple months ago, and I think on the same day, they both texted me within 1 hour, being like, "Can we please be roommates on the road because the bromance is so real." So it's good to have someone that you can spend so much time with.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking to him today, I was able to get a little bit of dirt. He was telling me or sharing with me that he was helping you a lot at a young age with math. He said math was not your strong suit, so he's been trying to help you there with multiplication, division, all that stuff. But he was laughing when telling me that. But he also shared a lot of memories of you guys kind of playing like hockey in the garden, I believe, at a young age. Unfortunately, he won all the time, according to him. So
No, not
um,
every time. No.
it's all good. But he shared kind of memories of that, and there was another one. Not to embarrass you on this podcast, but I probably will. That one time you guys were playing mini sticks, and I believe you broke a mini stick, and you started crying and was kind of upset because you felt that you were ruining the game or you always broke things, and so it's good to know that that's what real friends are for. They share these stories, but yeah. Or I would just I'll get your opinion on these. Are they somewhat true or are they all false?
No, not everything is true. So the only true story is with the math. Arno was pretty good at the school, so he helped me for real a lot. Math was not the best one for me, so it's true he helped me a lot. But with the mini stick, it was not true. No, I broke the stick, yeah, but I was not crying. I was laughing. We both was laughing because yeah, we played a lot of mini sticks and it was funny because we battled for everything and because we switched a lot of the rules. So he was now outside as a forward and I was in the net. So then we got a really good battle there. And then I broke the stick and then everybody was laughing. So it was funny.
It was tears of joy, not tears of sadness, according to Yannick Proske. But no, that's good. And I had similar stuff too. Like being a goalie growing up, I'd always want to play out, and the players always want to go in the net. So I think that's always fun. It kind of levels the playing field. Um, Back to kind of your hockey career now that we had some fun there. I'm curious. So after that year of uh, playing U16 there, I believe you played one more again because Arno and you are separated by 1 year, but you end up going to Dresden to play U17. And I'm just curious, like, as a young kid, what was kind of the thought behind that? Like, why did you want to kind of switch organizations?
Um, I talked before I go to Dresden, I talked to Manheim also. And then we talked to these guys there. At this moment was Frank Fischer, the coach from the junior team, and we talked to him and said, okay, we try a smaller step for Yannick because Dresden was not far away. It was 1.5 hours, and my both of my parents were have his work in Dresden, so there was also every day there. But I lived there alone, but they visit me and bring me some food and that stuff. So I learned to live alone step by step, and that's why I switched also the organization because I want to go to Mannheim, but I was thinking and I talked to my parents, we do it that step by step, not 100% right now. So that's why we switched it also. And then I got a good year, a really good year in Dresden. We was a really good team there. I scored also a lot. I played a lot there, and then we won also the first round of this season there, and then we went to the final tournament in Bad Tölz. When there, I played also against Arno, but in this moment he was in Bad Tölz, so we played also against each other in this moment, and yeah, that was a really good season for me. And at this tournament, I scored the first goal at the tournament against Arno, so it was pretty good for me and it was awesome. Yeah, no, but this year or this 1 year in Dresden was a good year for me. So I learned a lot there, and I'm fine with. Or I was fine with that.
Mm. It's always nice to score against your best friend. You can hold that over him.
Yeah.
But I'm curious too, like, you mentioned you kind of lived on your own there, and that's a big step for someone at 16 years old to. And I know it's only an hour and a half away, and your parents work there, but you're still kind of living for your own. So how was that like? Did you have like your own apartment, or was it kind of similar to what they do in major junior? Where you kind of live with like a billet family, like you have like parents or whatever that would take care of you with maybe someone who played on the team.
No, I live alone, but so I have. Well, yeah, I was in the apartment, but I was not really alone. I got two of my buddies there. They played also and vice versa and switched with me this team. So
Mm-hmm.
they got with me at the same time to Dresden. Then we have apartment together, and then we lived there for 1 year. So it was good. Like I don't know what's the English word is for a group of guys
Mm-hmm.
in one apartment. I don't know what's called in
We
English.
just say that like three guys in one apartment, a group of
Yeah.
guys.
Perfect.
There's no special word.
Perfect. Yeah.
Roommates.
Yeah. So yeah, it was also good for me that I was not so alone right now.
Mm. Who was cooking?
Everybody.
Yeah.
No, no, just kidding. No, most of the times, my parents or the parents from my buddies bring some food into the apartment, so we have only to warm it up and then we can eat it.
So it was the perfect world. You guys could literally just play hockey, maybe play video games as well. Your food would be ready and brought to you every day. It was kind of like summer camp,
Yeah.
which is awesome. No, I was always curious because obviously 16 is I didn't learn how to cook until I was in probably like pro. So
Yeah.
that's embarrassing. But no, good to know. And then after that, as you mentioned, you end up going to the young Adler Mannheim there. So for those listening in Germany, it's probably one of the top youth programs. They just have built themselves up over the years, invest a lot of money in it, I would say. And there's a lot of kids who come through this program. And, whether it means they go to the NHL, kind of like a Tim Stutzler or Leon Draisaitl, or, they're respectful top DEL players. Like this is kind of a place where I'd say a lot of German guys, one of a couple of spots where a lot of German guys go through. But, how was that for you, kind of following your brother's footsteps and coming to the young Adler? Obviously something you had dreamed of doing.
It was awesome. I was so excited, though I can go to the same steps as my brother, and I was also happy because I know a couple guys there because Arno was also there, so it was also easy for me. um,
Wherever Arno is, Yannick will be there.
So it was also good for me. No, but I was so excited for this season or for this 2 years what I was there. Was pretty good for me. I played also there a lot. I learned the new guys. I got now more friends, so learned really a lot there, and was also good memories there. With the school or something with the other boys, so it was funny. It was really good there, and we got everything there. Also, thanks for everything there because they stand every time behind us and support us. So it was pretty good there and it was really professional. It was awesome. Yeah.
That was gonna be my next question, just for maybe people listening who are not so familiar with the German Mannheim young Adler. Like, what are obviously now being on the pro side, like we have the three ice services there in Mannheim, great building, but for the young Adler, like for example, the dressing room is nicer than some pro dressing
Yeah.
rooms, for example. But just like, what are some other maybe cool things that you got while being with Mannheim that maybe with other junior programs in Germany you might not have?
Um, you got your stuff. So like sticks. We got some papers. So like um, was das Gutscheine?
Like coupons?
Yeah, I like coupons, yeah. And for sticks, skates, and that stuff. So it was also not so expensive for us when we buy this stuff. And then we got the helmet, the trousers, the gloves, um, and that stuff from the team. So we have everything from this guys. So it was awesome. And I think not every junior team in Germany can do this because they have not a lot of money. So it's really professional in Mannheim, and it's happy. So because you feel like a little pro, not a real pro, but a little one, because you got everything what you want. So you have only to ask the guys there, and then they give it to you. So it was pretty special.
And while being here in Mannheim, you played a couple of years here, and then there's a big decision to make, kind of, which I feel a lot of Germans are faced with, is do I sign pro? Do I go major junior? Do I try to get a scholarship to the United States? And you end up signing in Israel loan there at a young age. I believe you were 17 years old when you first made the jump. But you know, for a young kid like yourself, like how was that for you? Like, was it a really big jump? When you look back now on it, like, do you still think you were ready to do it as you did when you did, or do you look back now and feel, oh, maybe I should have took another year? I feel like it's always good to kind of reflect because as we get older, we kind of learn things. So I'm just curious about your opinion.
Yeah. No, I think I was ready for this moment. It was too bad because the season was over because of COVID. So this was not so nice, but I feel me ready for this step. And then we talk a lot to Iserlohn, and then everybody was ready to do it. So then I was also excited for this step because now I'm getting to the pros and see how it goes there, and I'm ready for that or not. So when I step on the ice there, but pretty good. It was pretty good for me because learned also a lot there, and the guys in the dressing room was so good to me. They talk a lot to me and give me so many feedbacks and what I can do better in this situation and that stuff. So it was I think easy for me to get into the team because the guys was pretty good there.
Mm.
And then I played my first couple games there. It was also fun. It was not so funny because no people was in the rings, but it was not too bad because then I was not too nervous before the games because not so many people see that. So it was good, but no, Iserlohn was a good step for me, and I'm happy I did this step and I do this, and yeah, I'm fine with that.
Really loud fans there. I've only been there once, but that like it's a smaller rink, but they're the way that the stands are kind of set,
Yeah,
like they're on top of you and they're really supportive of their home team. So that's
yeah,
obviously a very good spot for you to start.
yeah,
And then you mentioned, so this is kind of the Corona time, just a weird time, I would say, for all athletes. And the next year, you end up getting drafted in the import draft to the Spokane Chiefs. And I'm curious, kind of like as a young German guy, this isn't very common, I would say, for guys to get drafted to there. Like it's most Germans are going to either stay in the DEL or they're going to go to another, maybe a Del 2 team or something. Like that's kind of their track. But had you always been interested in going to North America and playing in a major junior league like the WHL?
yeah. When I was younger and I talked to my agent, then I told him from the beginning on, I want to play in the junior team in North America. I want to play there. So please do everything I can go over and play there. So that was my dream, and I was so happy when I got drafted. It's an import draft there, and um, now I have the chance to go over, and then we was talking to Iserlohn, and Iserlohn was open for that and said, "Yeah, man, go over, try your best, and we stay here. So when you fall down, you can come every time back and play here, but we will support you, and you can go over." So that was also good for me that Iserlohn stands behind me and support me there. Um, yeah, and then I was excited to can come go over to Spokane and play there. It was pretty special for me. It was awesome.
It's a big step for an 18-year-old at that time to move to Canada, another country. Obviously, not much German in Spokane, I doubt. But yeah, so like, just for those listening, like how was that year for you? Obviously, anyone if they were to look up your stats, I mean, you had a pretty successful year, 30 points in 58 games, and I've always been kind of a stat guy, so I've always liked to see Germans going over there. And, for someone like yourself, like you've been one of the more productive in his first year German guys to go over there, other than maybe like Drysdale or something. So was that kind of like a positive, thought in your head being like, I've played well in this league and, now hopefully other opportunities are going to open up?
Yeah, of course, because I know that when some guys or the German guys have the chance to go over and play good season or good years there, and then they come back to Germany, then they have more confidence and they are now more steps in front, and so it's good for the player to do that. And yeah, I know that also when I come back, I have more confidence, and I get now more steps in front, and I know the coaches are now look at me a little bit other than when I stay only in the Dell,
Mm-hmm.
because I know some guys or a lot of guys when I played in Iserlohn with some guys there, they played also in the WHL and or in the OHL and that stuff. So they play now also in at the Dell, and that's shown me that this way is also a good way, and I tried it. Yeah.
Oh, it's a great experience to say you've done. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe just, the rules there, it's basically they take a guy and then they either have to say, yeah, for the next year he's staying, or they can sometimes switch the imports because I think you're only allowed two per team if
Yep.
I'm not
Yep.
mistaken. But I know you wanted to stay, but in the end, you end up coming back to Germany, back to the DL there in Iserlohn. But another thing I wanted to talk to you about this year in Spokane was also one of 2 years where you ended up playing for the U20 national Mannschaft team. So the team that's playing the World Juniors. You had obviously represented Germany with the U18s and U16s, but how were those 2 years for you kind of going to the World Juniors there? Obviously, this is a very popular tournament. When I think of Christmas, I think of the World Juniors just because I was a kid in Canada, and obviously there's lots of TV games and also lots of scouts. So how was your experience those 2 years?
Um, it was it was a really good memory, and also a good experience because everybody knows the World Juniors. I don't know why, but the World Junior, when you can play the World Juniors, it's the biggest one what you can play at junior time. So it's awesome to play there, and I have also good spots. First it was Edmonton. Edmonton was also the awesome. The rink was unbelievable, man. It's not the same like in Germany. So it's awesome to play in this kind of rinks, and then you play against a lot of good guys, against top NHL prospects or other guys they get drafted and that stuff. So it's also good to see how you can battle with these guys and how you perform there and that stuff. So it's good to know how you play against these
Mm-hmm.
guys, and um yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of good memories there. The crowd was awesome. I don't know why, but everybody was for Germany when we play against Finland or something. So it was also good for us because we was happy with this, and we try every time the best what we can do, and um yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. It seems, obviously first they're going to be for Canada, but you know, they don't want to see USA win. They don't want to see Sweden or Finland win. So they always root for the other teams. And it must have been nice for you guys because it feels kind of like a home game and
Yeah.
kind of gives you that extra confidence and motivation. Were you with Arno one of those years,
Um,
or was he the year before that? Because he played two as well, and I know the one year I remember he
yeah,
like stood on his head against Canada.
I'm not sure I was with Arnold Edmonton or not. So the second one in Halifax, I was not with Arnold. Maybe only the one in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure right now.
I'm
Um,
trying to think as well. I can't
yeah,
remember. The second one in Halifax too. You end up being the captain.
yeah.
That's obviously got to be just kind of for yourself, a tremendous honor, I would say, being the captain of your national team. So, did you kind of have a feeling that was coming? Was it a surprise, or because some guys, they might have no idea and be like, and just, the one day the coach says, "Hi, you're going to represent us as our captain," and then other guys they might have had a feeling because of years past or something like that.
No, I was happy about it. I have no idea that I'm the captain for this tournament. I was happy for that. I was also proud of myself because I know the coaches trust me and give me the chance to represent Germany as a captain
Mm-hmm.
and walk with the team out there. And so it was really good, or it was really special for me, and I was happy to do this.
I remember this year because when I was in Selb in the Del 2, I was really trying to convince your agent to get you to come to us because you were going to play more ice than you were in Israel at the time. So, and I remember him telling me, well, he's on the national team. So good luck. But no, that was cool. It was nice to see you two times representing your country. I mean, not a lot of guys can say they've done that. And then after that, you end up going back to Iserlohn, as I mentioned. Iserlohn was kind of your starting point. And I wanted to ask you kind of, you know, when you come back from these tournaments, is there kind of a, I don't know how to say this the right way, but you've just represented your country on 2 occasions, played against the best of your age group. Like, are you feeling kind of that extra fire maybe or motivation to be like, okay, I've done it against these guys. Now I'm going to prove to my coaches, prove to my teammates that maybe I can take a bigger role in the DL or something like that?
Um, yeah, it is, when you come back from the World Juniors, you are now right on fire, and then you are coming back, and then you are also happy to be back and play against the pro teams and show them what you learned at this time at the World Juniors. And but yeah, you are on fire there, and you try your best again.
Mm-hmm.
So but I can't really talk about it because after the second tournament, I got injured, so not played a lot after this tournament. So I can't really talk about that. But normally, yeah, when you come back like from the tournament, then you're motivated and fire to get back to work.
Yannick's never gonna accept the C again because he wore it one time and got hurt. So, um, one thing I forgot to ask you about when you were in the WHL, like what were the biggest like differences you noticed or maybe challenges for, someone like yourself? I think the language is clear. But in terms of like hockey, obviously it's a smaller ice surface. Maybe the structure is a little different because a lot of WHL, I think they play 68 games. You're playing basically 3, sometimes 4 games a week, a lot of travel, stuff like that. So, um, what were kind of some of the differences that you noticed at a young age?
The difference was it's a some system stuff, and the speed was so faster than it's in junior in Germany, and they played more body and more fights. And in Germany and junior we have no fights.
Mm-hmm.
I never see that some junior guys was fighting. So it was also funny to watch when I was in Spokane on the bench and I watched some guys fighting. I was excited to watch it because they are the same age like me. So that's also different. But yeah, the culture is also different, but it's also hard for a German to come over because everybody knows you're an import. But the most thing is, or I think when you come as an import to Germany, then you have a big rule there because you are the import there. But when you come as a German or as an import to the WHL, for me now, um, they don't see you as an import. So you have also a hard life there. You have to figure something out and work hard every day and try your best to get into the lineup. When I was or I'm when I go over there and I played the first game, well, I was on the stands, um, and then I have to figure something out and try my best to get into the lineup. And the start was really hard for me, and it needs a lot of hard work, but then it's going better and better, and I show what I can do on the ice, and start with scoring and start with hits and that stuff. And I got into the lineup, and then I played also power play and PK and overtime and that stuff. And then I got more confidence, and then when I was rolling, and then it was getting better every day for me. So the start was hard, but when you figure something out and work hard there, and then you are as a lineup every day, then you have a lot of fun there because when you can play there, it's for real. So it's so fun, so much more fun there to play there, and yeah, so it was a great year for me. I'm so happy I have the chance to play there and see how it goes there. So I'm really happy for that, and I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm also thank you for everybody they support me from Germany and give me the chance for getting over.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. And like for me, growing up in Canada, obviously, and in the Ontario part, the OHL is everything we think about. Like we think about it as the NHL as kids, just because it's like one of the most renowned leagues, and playing in front of fans, being the heroes of the city. So I can imagine for you that was kind of similar. And I was gonna say, I think it probably benefited you. Like, not to say you weren't a hardworking person before, but like you said, you're going to Canada and you're not as known to them as like the kids from Canada because they would have been scouted in person. I don't know how many guys would have come over to Germany, and you kind of have to prove to them what type of player you are, identify to them, hey, I can take this role. And as you said, you started, in the stands and then you had to put in the work and get in. And I think, for a young player in Germany playing in the DEL,
Yeah.
it's the same way because, a lot of young kids aren't given chances right away because you have older guys for that. And someone like yourself, which you've done now in Manheim is, you know, maybe because of what you did in Spokane and the habits you learned there, you've now been able to use that here in Manheim and gotten chances
Yeah.
when you were given them.
Yeah, of course. I learned a lot in Spokane. What you say also. I learned there work hard every day and do everything what I can do, and yeah, that's helped me a lot. And I know when I was come back to Iserlohn, I have to do the same there to get into the lineup and fight for my spots there. And um, yeah, it's the same way every time. So you have to fight for your spots and work hard and um, figure something out. So it's every time the same. And when you're not doing that, and then you have not a really good chance to play in the pro league or play a lot in the pro league. So you have to put some hard work in and do it every day and consistency, and then you have a really good chance to play a lot of games and a lot of minutes and that stuff. And then it's also coming, you score the goals and that stuff. And but it's only coming when you work hard and do your job.
No, that's very true. We have a saying in English, hard work is always rewarded. So I think that's very clear, especially from your side. And then that kind of brings us to this year. Obviously, you started the year in Iserlohn, and at some point this season, the two GMs decided it would be good to make a trade, and we ended up getting you in return. And I'm just curious, you've been here about 2, 3 months. How has it been for you? Obviously, as I mentioned, you've been getting some chances here, to play in higher roles, play on the power play. What a one timer you have! If only the accuracy was there, like it was in the morning skate. But no, like how have you been enjoying Mannheim so far? Obviously, being in one of the more renowned clubs, I would say famous clubs in Germany, it must be pretty cool for you.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm happy I'm back now. Um, it's also easy for me right now because I know a couple guys, not only Arno right now, but also a couple guys from the junior time. They played also now pro here, so it is easy for me, and then I know the city, and it's nice to say I'm back now. Um, I loved Mannheim as a city and as a club also, and I'm so excited. Or I was so excited to come back here, and I'm appreciated. I have now, or I become now the chance for playing in the power play and in the higher rule and that stuff. So I'm happy I have this chance, and but I have also idea what I have to do for that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm happy with the situation right now. I'm happy also for the trade. I'm happy to be here in Mannheim, and I want to stay also a couple years. So I try my best to stay here.
No, that's good. I was gonna ask you too. I wonder. So obviously, your good friend Arno was drafted last year by Dallas. And I was wondering if Dallas knows that when and if he signs his contract, that means they actually have to take you a year later with them because
Yeah,
you guys just travel as a package deal together.
yeah.
I'll have to get Arno on and ask him about that. Ask him if there's been any negotiations.
But that's a good idea.
It's a great
Yeah,
idea.
I'm fine with that. I'm
I'll take
fine with that.
I'll take my percentage for that one.
Yeah, perfect.
Um, how do you like to spend your summers? Like, do you go back to Weisfoster every summer, or where do you spend your summers?
Yeah, the first 1 or 2 weeks I go back to Iceland to my parents and visit some friends there and the rest of my family. But then I go back to Manheim and put some work in. So or I go with couple friends from around Germany and flying to the holidays into the holidays. So yeah. But the first weeks
Mhm.
first weeks are at home, and then we're coming back to Manheim, and then
That is one thing I found pretty cool in Germany. I'm sure it probably happens in other countries is, the young guys are, they're given a couple of weeks after the season, but then they're kind of brought back here to start training, they have the ice availability and stuff too. So it's a cool concept. It's very, very professional here, I would say. Um, Obviously this trip you're gonna go on, there's gonna be no alcohol drunk whatsoever. So we'll keep that one there. But one other person I want to kind of bring up to you was your agent Mark Longbine there. Obviously very persistent fellow. I've had many good conversations with him. You know, and I've said to many people out there, you want to have a guy like him because, this guy's traveling every weekend to watch guys play. It
yeah.
doesn't matter if they're in the Oberliga, if they're in the DEL.
Oh.
Um, but as a young kid, I'm just curious, like how do you like working with him? I think it's been good so far, but like as maybe as a decision for you, like how did you pick him at such a young age? Like how do you, when you have maybe 4 or 5 agents lining up or whatever, like how did you go, you know what, this is the guy I want to go with, with Win-Win Sports, for example.
Yeah. When he was talking to me in this moment, he was a small group of guys, so they haven't so many players at this moment. That was a good point for me because when I have an agent, I want he has some focus only on me and figure something for me out. And when I have also pay him for do my contracts and that stuff, and when I pay somebody, then I want also he's only for me and do my job or something for me. So this was also a good point for me because he was a guy. Um, he was coming to a lot of games for me. He called me a lot. Um, and talk to me a lot, give me a lot of feedback, and give me a good feeling. And he helped me also a lot, and he gave me also the chance to go over to Spokane. So I'm also thanks for that he organized or give me the chance
Hmm.
to do it for me, and yeah, that's why I picked him because he has the connections to the guys over there and around or in Germany, and I'm happy with him to work with him, and I'm happy I have him. So he's a good guy, and I think now because I have him now 5 years, so now it's not only he's my agent, I'm the player, but now is it also
A friendship.
a friendship. Yeah, it's now it's going in the right way, and I'm happy I have him on my side, and yeah, I'm I'm good with him.
No, that's awesome to hear. And just kind of to say again what you were saying. So you feel when you're young, a young athlete, it's good to have somebody that can be your agent, but also kind of have that friendship with you and as someone that's kind of looking out for you. Um, and we've all seen it. There's sometimes, there's bigger agents than Mark. That's just
Yeah,
the truth. But when they have so many clients to take care of, some young guys or some guys maybe fall between the cracks just because it's so much and nothing against those agents. So it's nice to have someone you can personally be in contact with all the time. I'm sure your parents
yeah,
were involved in that decision too.
yeah.
You had to wine and dine them, or I'll get that story from him. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Um, no, that's good. He actually texted me 2 days ago asking me if I'd like to meet up for a drink sometime, so I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
What's your ultimate personal goal, I would say, in ice hockey?
My personal goal is I play so high I can. So when the highest league is the Dell for me, then I'm fine with that. But I dreamed also, or I'm still dreaming from the NHL. So I do also everything I become the chance to getting over and play there. Maybe for one game or something, then I'm happy. But I'm still dreaming for the NHL, and um, yeah, NHL is still my goal. or my biggest goal.
You're still young, so that's a great goal to have. And obviously, now having a guy I think like Dallas, that's obviously has a good resume in North America and is very connected. Someone like yourself could get a chance there if you continue to keep playing the way you've been playing. Just got to work on that accuracy. Uh, One thing I wanted to talk to you about, all jokes aside, is I have a lot of respect for you in terms of just the way you carry yourself. Like every day you come to the rink smiling, always in a good mood. It doesn't matter if you're playing fourth line, if you're playing second line. You just seem to always enjoy being at the rink. And obviously, you're a very hardworking player. As I said, you can be very versatile, which means play anywhere in the lineup. And you just kind of accept whatever role you're given. If you're given more, you raise to that challenge. And um, was this something that was kind of taught to you or explained to you maybe at a young age by your parents or your brother, or is it just kind of something you learned to do naturally over time?
Yeah, my parents taught me a lot about that, and my brother also. My brother told me every day, Yannick, we have to do more than everybody to getting better and growing up. So then he did also a lot with me. So he worked also when I was younger a lot with me. We was a lot outside for runs and sprints and that stuff, and we was also in the weight room and do something with the weights. And he support me a lot and gave me also the little bit pressure. But I'm happy he did that for me.
Mhm.
But when I was younger, I got also one coach in my career right now. He told me you have to put a smile on your face, then your day is good. So you have to smile to do, or you have to smile everything what you do, then it's going right.
Mhm.
So this this type of coach is not normal, because some coaches they say something to you and they not really mean it. But this coach, I'm happy he told me that, and this guy helped me also a lot with that. So that's why I have every time a smile on my face, because I know when I'm smiling, first everybody around me get also a smile,
Mhm.
and I'm only in a good mood, and when I'm in a good mood, then I can do a lot, then I can work hard. My brain is free, and so the smile on my face, it's good for me and helps me. So that's what I still want to do, and yeah.
It's in English we say it's a tremendous quality to have.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very important. Um, and as I said, I think you know, people who are always happy, someone like yourself, other people want to be around that person. If you're a negative person, for example, it brings kind of that energy, and guys might not want to have that person around. But you obviously are, you know, a guy that everyone wants to be around, especially after watching your dance routine at the banquet there. This guy was in 70s like ski attire, all pink, fake wig on top, and they were dancing to the YMCA. Not many of you knew how to make the proper letters on stage. It's four letters, but to be honest, you seem to really enjoy the outfit. I would keep that for future use. Maybe a Halloween costume, but no, a couple more for you here. You've been very generous with your time. Obviously, we're on the road here. I know you want to go relax. Arno's probably missing you. So,
I think so.
uh, have you ever thought, obviously everybody dreams of playing forever. Unfortunately, for many reasons, one being your body, it just time runs out eventually. So I've wondered, have you ever thought about what you would do if you weren't playing hockey, maybe life after hockey?
Um, I think it's when I play a lot, or still a couple years hockey, and then I'm after my career, I want to go to police, so I want to be a policeman,
Hmm.
or, and or a coach. So I try to be a coach and a policeman. So that's what I have right now in my mind after my career. But I don't know, maybe tomorrow I have a new idea or something. So we will see. But right now I want to be a coach or and the policeman.
Good thing about being a policeman, there's not a lot of math in that one. No, that's a great one, to be honest. A lot of, like, I know a lot of hockey players in North America, it's very popular when you're done playing. A lot of guys go in and are firefighters. So I think of the policeman as a similar one. I don't know how it is over here. Back home, there is a massive rivalry in every town. Like, so all the hockey players either become policemen or firemen, and they each have their own team, and they do like heated battles every year, and it's like televised sometimes. I don't think it's that crazy over here. Maybe that's a Canadian thing, but I guess over here it would be probably soccer. But
yeah,
no, that's good to know. You know, it's cool to think, like, as I said, you're still young. So is there something about there? Awesome. You're still a young guy, but well, we gotta take a pause here. Who's this? The other bromance, Teeler and Fabrizio Pilu. Another two guys who asked me to put them together, coincidentally. Two more for you here before these hooligans get in our way. You know, kind of where your career is taking you so far. Like, when you look back at it, like, did you kind of expect it to happen this way, or has it kind of been a surprise as well? You know, being able to represent your country, playing in North America, obviously coming to Manheim, playing in the DL. Has that all kind of been a surprise to you, or you kind of always thought, you know what, I'll get there?
Little bit of both. I'm surprised it goes so well for me. But when I was younger, I dreamed from this career what I have now. I'm dreamed to be a pro and play for the national team, and it was my dream. So I know I have to put work into it to get there. So yeah, that's why I'm now here. But yeah, I'm a little bit surprised because it's going really well for me, but I have also this idea or this kind of idea from the way what I do now, and
well, that's a good answer. That's honest. I see it the same way for you too. But it's always nice to have surprises, I think. But as we talked about before, I think, you know, when you put in the work, you know, I always say good things happen to good people. Sports or not. So no, doesn't surprise me at all that you are where you are right now. I was definitely happy when we made that trade. It was nice to add you. I did a scouting report on you. I'm proud of that one. So far it's panning out. We'll see if it does in 3 to 5 years. But last one for you here. What's one piece of advice, or multiple if you have multiple, that you would give kind of the younger generation? So if you're talking to hockey players, you know, who are listening, you know, 13, 14 years old, what's maybe some piece of advice you'd give them?
Have a smile in your face every day. Have fun. Don't think about other guys. Think about yourself. Do your own job. Work hard. So yeah, but the biggest one is have fun and have a smile on your face, because when you have fun and have a smile on your face, what I talk, then everything goes well for you, because then you have enough energy to work hard and do your own stuff. And yeah, that's what I want to give the younger kids or younger guys.
No, that's perfect. I predicted that from you, and that's very true. You know, positive energy, man.
Yep.
It brings positive results. But man, I appreciate you doing this. As I said before the podcast, you were very nervous about your English, but I think you were very good. Better than what my German would have been if I read a German podcast. But no, I appreciate it. As I said, you're a tremendous dude. I'm very happy that you're having success here. I'm excited to work with you the next couple of years. You won't learn much from me on the ice, but hopefully I'll make your life off the ice easier. Best of luck the rest of the year, man. And thanks again for doing this.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And for those listening, give us a follow. YouTube, Spotify, everything. You can find this podcast everywhere. Give this guy a follow on Instagram, Yannick Proske. Until next week, juice and ciao.